right, team, welcome to the Next Fitness Show. This is episode 96. Wow. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to be here with you. My name is Alexis Craig, and we have a great show for you today. We have a lot to bring to you today. Our topic of the show is home fitness hacks, and we are especially going to focus on the DIY style of home fitness hacks. So if this sounds like a good idea, then stick around. Aside from that, we have a mid-show stretch breaks to get you moving while you're in here doing this with me. And we're also going to go through a move of the week. So that's going to help you to refine some kind of fitness move that may already be in your repertoire to help you to do it even more effectively. From there, we have some announcements from the Next Fitness Thing. Now, this is a production of the Next Fitness Thing. The Next Fitness Thing is a wellness platform, all digital, all online, and we would love to have you join us. You can join us right here on this YouTube channel, but honestly, most of our offerings are both through the web and through our apps. You can find us in the App Store if you search for the Next Fitness Thing, and you can also find us at thenextfitnessthing.com. We're on all the socials, so if you want to find us on Instagram and Facebook, yes, totally, find us there too. Okay, so that said, are you ready? If you are here live right now, hi, and please say hey in the chat so I know that you're here. Also, if you would, will you please go back to the previous screen and just push the thumbs up push the thumbs up button on the video and all that because it really helps. All right, Erin is here saying hi. My mom's here saying Friday. Yay. Megan says happy Friday. All right, awesome. Cool. Okay, are you ready? So today we are talking about home gym hacks. All right. Now, why would we want to even talk about this? What's the purpose? I think this is a particularly potent topic right now for a couple of reasons. One is just from being in class with a lot of you, I know that your house literally looks like this right now. Like the snow all over is falling a lot. I am in the Sierra Nevada mountains. We don't have any snow yet, so I wish our house looks like this actually. But if you're in the Midwest or even some people on the East Coast, you're already dealing with a lot of weather. So, dealing with weather, of course, you could buy home gym equipment, but I will also say that a lot of people are traveling at this time of the year. So if you're traveling, you're probably not going to bring all your weights and all that kind of stuff with you. So if you need to kind of improvise something, that's really what we're going to be talking about today. And just saying, not everybody wants to spend a lot of money on all of this fitness equipment stuff. So whether it's that your budget's really tight or you just want to repurpose things you already have around the house without dedicating budget to that, I totally get it. And I'm just like a DIY kind of person anyway, where if I can make it, I'm probably going to try before I even think about buying it. It's just my style. So, okay, let's talk about it. If you already have DIY stuff going on in your house, or if you have ideas, let's share that for sure. So drop it in the chat if you're here live. For those of you who are watching this as a recording, totally put it in the comments as well. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear if you've tried this. We want to hear your thoughts. So please, please, please. All right, Marissa's in here saying hi. Hey. Aaron says your house does look like this. Yeah, that's what I imagine is that's what your house looks like. Uh, and Edie says it's good to know this is for traveling too. Right, it's totally for traveling. It's for all, many purposes. All right, we're going to go through some equipment that might be really popular that you might really be looking for. We're also going to go through some things where you might not have even heard of that, but it'll be fun. All right, here we go. Our first item is light dumbbells. Now, this is probably the easiest thing because you could use like anything, seriously. If you're trying to use light dumbbells, in what situation would you use light dumbbells? You would use them for bar class. You might use them for a strength kind of workout, especially if you're doing some exercises that are far away from your body kind of thing. You're doing flies, you're doing lateral shoulder raises, like that kind of thing. Maybe tricep kickbacks and bicep curls, light weights. Now, you can literally use anything for this. I often use my water bottle. I will also use, well, a brick would work pretty much. I'm putting this here as like the default of any item that has some weight to it. You basically, the weight range we're talking about here is somewhere between 2 and 7 pounds is what we're talking about. So maybe it's a brick. Maybe it is some kind of canned food. I know this is actually a very popular thing to use in class, especially for bar class, is to use canned food. I find myself using coconut milk cans on the regular in these kinds of classes. Also, wine bottles. So if you are traveling for the holidays, I imagine you might have these laying around. And a wine bottle that's full, my understanding, I think it's 8 pounds. And if it's empty, then it's going to be significantly less, and it could work either way. So just keep in mind if you're going to be doing something that is bilateral, meaning you have two of them, you do kind of want to have the two weights be the same or as similar as possible. So, or if it's not possible, like let's say you're just picking up rocks off the ground, which is something I've definitely done, then on the second set, I would switch and put the other rock in the other hand so that they're kind of even overall. All right. How many of you have tried this? Have you actually used household items for light weights? I feel like you have. Kelly's in here saying hi. All right, cool. Okay, next we have medium weights. Now, when I'm talking about weights, we're talking something in the range of 8 to 20 pounds. This is going to be exercises like for overhead press, for chest press, maybe for bicep curl. Bicep curl is kind of the in-between exercise for rows, right? And what don't take the weight range as gospel. You're going to know what your medium range is. The number of the weight, meaning like how many pounds it is not important. It's just important if it feels like an appropriate amount of resistance for you, right? Oh, the chat. Here we go. Sharon says water bottles while traveling. Yeah, for lightweights, they're perfect, especially if you can get two of them that are the same. Edie says that she also used water bottles. All right, cool. Water bottles are popular. Nice. Kelly says resistance. Okay, here we go. So medium, I would say things around the house that you can find. Toolbox is an option. One thing you have to keep in mind with this is how are you going to hold on to it? So if you are going to be lifting it as a bicep curl, if it's something awkward like this is like a mini toolbox, you'll need to hold on to it with two hands. You could definitely do a chest press with two hands, that kind of thing. This is like the kind of item where if you're visiting family, you would have to be like, hey, can I borrow maybe something a little kind of heavy? Another idea is a bag of food. So, especially if you are going to be cooking for a bunch of people, you may have something like this around. It could be potatoes, it might be rice, and it might not even be food. Maybe you have a bag of soil, maybe you have a bag of charcoal, some kind of bag that's already full of something that makes it have a significant amount of weight can work. Again, how are you going to hold on to it is the most challenging part. So for this bag of potatoes, if I was doing an overhead press, I would probably like grab onto the mesh of the bag and push it over my head. Where if I was going to use it for chest press, I would more hold on to the bag and press it that way, right? Mom says I use the cat. And he purrs the whole time. Okay, well, I'm glad he's down with it. Just saying. Using an animal is great if the animal appreciates participating. And if they don't, then, I wouldn't encourage it. Children also. You can use children. Just make sure you're being safe with it and that they actually want to participate. Okay. Laundry detergent is honestly my go-to for medium weights. It usually has a handle on it, and if the laundry detergent is full, then it's right around the weight that I would be using for this medium rep range. Of course, it depends what size that you buy or something like that, but just keep in mind these kinds of things. Um, I would just suggest like I wouldn't use a bottle of bleach just because, you don't want to accidentally spill it on your head. If you spilled laundry detergent on your head, I mean, it wouldn't be great, but you probably wouldn't go to the hospital or like bleach, you know. Um, and it doesn't have to be laundry detergent. It could be a jug of milk. A jug of milk, 1 gallon of any liquid is 8 pounds. So, well, I shouldn't say any liquid. 1 gallon of water is 8 pounds. So, a gallon of milk, a gallon of water. If it has a nice handle and you can use it, good choice. Aaron says no bleach. I know Aaron had a bleach. Aaron's cats had a little bleach mishap during a workout recently. Yeah, it was the cats, right? No, no, it was it was sitting on the washing machine and it shook it off. I think that's what happened. Okay. What about you? Do you have any ideas for medium weights? What would you use for a medium weight? I mean, I could think of a lot more things here. Like maybe you want to use this. I mean, for me, I would maybe use like a cinder block. That might be getting in the heavier range. You could use a bag of books. Okay. Next, let's talk about heavy dumbbells. What would you use to replace heavy dumbbells? Honestly, this one I feel like is kind of the hardest. It's easy to find things that are light, things that are medium, you can look around and see them. Things that are heavier are often awkward. And so we're going to just have to adapt this to what move you're trying to do with it. In general, what I'm talking about with this is for deadlifts, squats. This is especially for lower body moves. That's what we're talking about here. All right. Aaron says, yes, the laundry machine made an awful mess and it was terrible to clean up. Yeah, totally. Okay, for heavy dumbbells, here are my suggestions. One is your suitcase. So if you're traveling, or if you're not, maybe you just have a suitcase stored somewhere and fill it. Make it so that it's as heavy as you need it to be for your workout. So you could put books in your suitcase. You could put the bag of potatoes in your suitcase. You could put other suitcases in your suitcase. But a suitcase is a great opportunity because you really can adjust the weight to be what you want to be using the suitcase. Nice. Marissa says toiletry bag. Yeah, toiletry bag is a really, here, I have one right here. Like for me, my toiletry bag, I would say this is probably light, but it's a great option for some of these like kickback kind of moves. Yeah, that's a good option. Aaron's saying a backpack full of stuff and books. Yeah, backpack full of books. If I was going to use a backpack full of books, maybe that would be your medium and maybe it would be your heavy. I mean, I feel like for the medium, I mean, medium's like overhead press, chest press. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do the backpack full of books in both hands together, I feel like that would probably be perfect. Lying on your back and doing chest press, backpack full of books will be challenging and a good choice. You could certainly hold a backpack full of books at your chest and squat. I feel like it might not really be as heavy as you want it to be, but better than nothing. Okay, other ideas for heavy. I'm talking deadlift heavy, squat. Aaron says it's a homemade adjustable weight. Totally. 100%. Yep. Another idea is lift something heavy like a couch. Now, you're gonna have to do a little bit of experimentation to find what is the appropriate thing. Like, I wouldn't suggest lifting your refrigerator, even if that is the right weight, because it's too risky that it could tip over and hurt you, right? But the couch, you're only gonna lift one side. You're going to reach your hands, be careful if there's pins under there or something, but stand up and put it back down, and stand up and put it back down. That could be your deadlift. It's great for practicing functional movements. You could put more weight on the couch if it was too easy. It might be too hard. So if the couch is too much, pick something else. right now, a lot of people have boxes around their house. So you could lift a box. You could lift your laundry basket. You could lift like the ottoman instead of the couch, right? So you don't have to lift the thing completely off the ground. You can lift it to tilt it if it's something long like the couch. So I actually think lifting the couch is a good choice. Yeah, be careful with the person's floors if you're traveling, but I mean, I think this is a good choice. What do you guys think? Are you down to lift the couch? The next one is some kind of bucket. You could a bucket full of water, a bucket full of sand, a bucket full of something. I personally really like using buckets of water. If you have a 5 gallon bucket, that's kind of the standard size bucket you'd get at the hardware store. A 5 gallon bucket of water, it's 8 pounds per gallon. So 8 times 5 is 40. So if you're lifting a bucket of water off the ground, you're doing a 40-pound deadlift. And if you're lifting two, so one in each hand, that's an 80-pound deadlift. That's pretty good. I mean, I know that some of you guys that I'm training are lifting a little bit more than that, but that's probably more than most of you are lifting in a group class. Most most people, at least when I'm watching you. It's what I would like you to lift, but I mean, most people aren't necessarily that ambitious without the trainer specifically on them. So a bucket of water is also great because it's very adjustable. So you don't have to fill it completely full. You could fill it halfway up with water if that's what's appropriate. My personal recommendation on the 5 gallon bucket is make sure it actually has a nice handle on it because the wire handle on the 5 gallon bucket really cuts. And so you want to have either have some kind of glove or something, or have the ones that have it still has the handle and it's not broken off yet. Okay, Edie says, I feel like you want me to better clean the house. Well, all I could say is if you have the intention of cleaning your house, then this is a perfect opportunity, right? I This past week we just had a walking challenge. We are talking about moving forward. What most people were saying in my class was that they wanted their house to be more organized and to clean up clutter. I heard clean up clutter, clean up clutter, clean up clutter again and again in multiple classes. So if that's you, then perfect. Lift up your couch, see what's underneath there. That's part of your workout. Fill this bucket with water, clean your floors. You'll get some overhead reaching, clean your windows. That'll be great. Oh, Carol just made it here. All right, Carol, welcome. I'm glad you made it here. All right. And another option that I really like for lifting heavy is car batteries. And it could be battery for anything, but car batteries, I feel like is something you might have in the garage. So it could be a car battery, it could be a toolbox. They often have a handle on them. And when I was lifting 2 car batteries for my deadlift, it was really hard. That was heavy. I don't know the number on the weight, but it was probably more than the bucket of water. So if you're looking for something that is challenging, that's going to actually really feel heavy, also the car battery is compact for how heavy it is. So that's a great option. Great option. Ah, Daniela made it. All right, awesome. Just so you know, you guys, we're talking about ways you can improvise having equipment, whether you're traveling or if you're stuck in your house or if you just don't want to spend money on fitness equipment. So we're talking about heavy weights right now. We already went through light and medium. All right, we're moving on. Next, let's talk about resistance bands. All right, now this is something, if you have resistance bands and you're traveling, bring them. It's better to bring them. This takes up very little space in your suitcase. It doesn't really weigh very much. Just bring your resistance bands. The actual resistance bands are going to be better than anything I'm going to suggest here. I'll just tell you that right now. That said, maybe you forgot them. Maybe they snapped. I don't know about you, but I've had that happen many times. Especially if they get cold, then they aren't very good after that. So, well, how can you improvise resistance bands? Anybody have any ideas? How would you improvise resistance bands if you needed to? Okay, one idea is use a waistband. So it could be the waistband. I'm showing in this slide the waistband of some underwear. You could cut the waistband out of something that's going to be thrown away anyway. So maybe it's some workout pants, maybe it's some underwear, something with an elastic that you could use. I can also picture using pantyhose for this. It could be leggings. I can even picture that you take a pair of pantyhose and like tie it into a loop, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried that to actually know if that would work. Kathy says, how about your dog? For heavy weights? Heck yeah, you could use your dog for heavy weights. I love that idea. Kathy also says that she has a chair that would be great for heavyweight. Right, perfect. It's perfect. Marissa says, what about TRX to travel with? Yes, TRX is a really great option to travel with. It weighs like maybe 3 pounds. It takes up more space in your suitcase than a typical resistance band, but it does give you a huge variety of workout options that you can do with it. So I often travel with my TRX. I love TRX. Um, Edie has used tights as a resistance band. Yeah, that's a great option. It's really good. Sharon used a sports bra. Genius. I didn't even think of that. Yes, sports bra. Yes. Right? It's already a resistance band just to try to get it over your head and to get it off. It's perfect. That's so great. Nice. Kathy likes to lift driftwood. That's what you use for your heavyweights. I love it. Driftwood. Yes, yes, yes. Cool. Okay, another idea for a resistance band, and honestly, use this one carefully, is you could use bungee cords. Now, here's my suggestion with bungee cords. P.S. One time, my dad hurt himself really bad with bungee cords, so I'm like very sensitive about bungee cords. If you're going to use a bungee cord, I would first, like, I would probably tie it instead of hooking the hooks to each other. I would probably tie it. And I would tie it in a knot where I kept the two cords together and like tie the two of them together so that it's less likely to come apart. I would also, if it was me, I'd probably cut the hooks off just because that's the most dangerous part. If it were to snap on you, you don't want to get hit with a metal hook. So if you can decommission the bungee cord and just use it for a resistance band from now on and tie it really good, that's what I would say. Um, Bungee cords are definitely can work for this, and honestly, anything elastic can work for it. Like if you have sewing elastic, you could use that. You can use anything that is elastic as a resistance band, and honestly, resistance band, like a bungee cord, there's all different stretchinesses in bungee cord, but most resistance bands are not as challenging to stretch as a bungee cord is. So a bungee cord is going to be a pretty advanced version here. Again, be very careful using a bungee cord. I was very hesitant to even put this in here, but it just seemed kind of obvious. All right. Um, nice. Okay, the chat is happening. Good. Moving on. Okay, gliding discs. Now, this is something in our exercise library with the Next Fitness thing that we haven't really done a lot of, but we do have a little bit of this. I know that Kathy, who's here in the chat right now, is passionate about using gliding discs. And also our teammate Sherry, when she made her signature workout, used gliding discs in her signature workout. So this gliding discs are awesome from the perspective that they can really up level a body weight workout without really needing to have much. You don't really have to have weights to make it harder. What a gliding disc normally is something that allows for your foot or your hand, depending how you're using it, to glide smoothly along the floor. It might be foam, it might be fabric, it might be plastic, it might be something else, but often there's a smooth surface that is made to glide along surfaces. Okay, I have two good ways to do this, and you might have heard me say this before. One is socks on hardwood floor. Now, if you ever tried working out in socks on a hardwood floor, you already know it's extra challenging and maybe death defying. So, if you're doing a gliding disc workout, you could use those socks to your advantage. I'm not talking about grippy socks, I'm talking about socks. So be careful. Some people like to only use the sock, don't put over their heel or something so that they do have some traction if they need it. RD Sharon B says gliders make me so sore. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then Edie is beating me to the punch with the next one, which is paper plates on carpet. So if you have carpet in your house, you could probably do this on hardwood floor too. It, paper plates work really, really well as a gliding disc, and you can throw them away afterward or burn them. Um, and Kathy has given me this suggestion many, many times. So you've probably heard us say this before, but paper plates on carpet works great. Okay, next item, agility ladder. Now, have you ever used an agility ladder? I actually love the agility ladder. This is what it is. You can kind of see it. It's basically, um, it looks like a ladder, but it just lays on the ground. And then you do agility drills with your feet going in and out of different spaces of the ladder. It's kind of like hopscotch for adults. Yeah. Super cardio intense hopscotch is what it is. All right. So with this, one idea is to use tape. If you can use tape, do it. Another idea is you could use chalk. So of course it depends what environment you're in. You don't want to use chalk on someone's carpet, but you could also lay down ribbon or lay down fabric. You could lay down anything to make an agility ladder on the floor and use it. Agility ladder is really fun. That's something I would like to do more of next year is agility ladder. So start feeling into what you're going to use for an agility ladder and what'll work in your house. Have you guys tried this before? It's awesome. Okay. And next we have the Pilates ring. How many of you have had this happen? I've honestly had this happen many times where it's Pilates class and I'm trying to take the Pilates class that's going on. And then they're like, oh, now get your Pilates ring or magic circle or whatever they're calling it. And I'm like, uh, hmm. And I don't have one. I do have one, but it's not always readily available. So, what do you use? If you have a good solution for this, I'd like to hear what you actually use. I kind of made these ones up. An idea that I have not tried this, is, oh, this one seems obvious. One is, of course, if you have some other ring-shaped object that you think you could use, do it. For example, this is an embroidery hoop. Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like if you have this, you're set anyway. There's probably some other hoop-shaped objects like a mini hula hoop. Maybe you have that or something. A wreath. I don't think there's a good chance of you having any of those things. So another idea is you might be able to use a bowl. It wouldn't necessarily work for every single exercise. Like if you needed to squeeze the bowl, if you need to squeeze the hoop together or something and you want to flex, it may or may not work. But some of the moves are just more about holding the ring a certain distance and being able to maintain that distance and put a little bit of pressure. And from that, I think the bowl would probably work really well. So try it. We're gonna have Pilates. We actually did Magic Circle last Saturday in Pilates, but we have Pilates 10 multiple times throughout the week. So come to Pilates 10 and try it and let me know how it goes. I'd really like to hear how it goes if you try it with a bowl. I'll put the Magic Circle class up for you. Okay. Aaron says, for squeezing action, I've used a pillow to squish. Yeah, you could do that. And I feel like for the Pilates ball, the pillow can work really well too. Just sometimes where it's like the thing like you're supposed to put the circle between your knees and squeeze or something. I don't know. I just don't feel that satisfied with the pillow. I guess maybe it depends if you have a very integrous pillow, it might work. What else? Anybody else have any other ideas? Yeah, Sharon says use the ball instead. If you do have a ball, you could try that. You could. Kathy says that you love them. The bowl? I don't know what we're talking about. It's okay. Okay. Oops, this is misplaced. Okay, there it is. The next item we're going to talk about is foam roller. Let's say you're traveling and you don't have a foam roller. What are you going to use? You really want a foam roller. Maybe something's hurting you and you're on a ski trip and oh, your glute is killing you or you're, you know, something like that. and you really wish you had the foam roller. What are you going to use? Now, I will tell you, I often just use my water bottle as a foam roller. It's a little brutal, but you could put a piece of fabric over the top or something, like put some sweats over it, and it works. Definitely works. And some other ideas are a PVC pipe. Now, the smaller the PVC pipe, the more intense this is going to be. The larger, the gentler. Of course, it's really hard. It is. Again, you could put a piece of fabric over it. And I've worked at gyms that literally the foam rollers they had at the gym were a PVC pipe with a teeny small amount of foam over the top. And I'm like, how much are you guys charging for these? Kathy says you have them ready for tomorrow's hit if you want. What are we having ready for tomorrow's hit? Also, a rolling pin. This one, it's actually very similar to the action that you would be doing with the rolling pin, right? So the rolling pin, you can use it and roll on your thighs, roll. And they sell fitness devices that are basically this anyway. And then the third idea for a foam roller is to use a water bottle, especially a frozen water bottle. Ice is not the best for everything, and if you are rolling the bottoms of your feet, this one works really well. If you're rolling something that is a acute injury, this one works really well. Otherwise, just use your regular water bottle. It's not heated or cold. Kathy says washcloth on hardwood. For gliders? Nice. Yes, totally. Okay, moving on. A yoga strap. This one I feel like is kind of easy. What do you use for a yoga strap? Do you actually have a yoga strap? I've never had a yoga strap. I always just use a household item. I use a towel. I use a belt. I use the shirt that I just took off that's sitting next to me. I never it does it doesn't seem like something that's worth spending money on to me. But you tell me, what do you use for a yoga strap? I'd love to know. The ones in the yoga studio are very nice. I will say the benefit of having a real yoga strap is that, especially when it has the D-ring on it, that you can adjust how, like you can loop it to itself and adjust it so that it's a specific size. And sometimes that is very, very helpful. You can't do that with a towel. You might be able to do it with a belt. Okay, so yoga strap's the easy one. Yoga block. Now, what do you use for a yoga block? I feel like a lot of us use household items for a yoga block already. What do you use for a yoga block? Sharon says, I have a strap that doubles as a mat carrying strap. Oh, that's a great idea. I love that idea. Okay. So mat carrying strap, yoga strap. That's cool. Like it. Edie uses sweatpants. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it depends what you're doing with the strap, but if you're doing this, a lot of times I just reach and grab my sock. Just saying. Okay, for a yoga block, you can use anything that is stable. I'm gonna say books are the default answer, probably. Books. Books will be the most like yoga block. Also with books, it's pretty easy to adjust the height. So if you need to go a little higher, you can add a couple more books. If you need to go a little lower, you can knock a book off the stack or whatever you might need around that. With the yoga block though, I often will just find the wall and then use the wall the way you would use a block. Like maybe it's for a little stability. I'll use furniture sometimes as well. If anybody else has anything you use for a yoga block, I'd love to hear it. Okay, now let's talk about cardio equipment. The stair climber, if you're missing your gym and you really want the stair climber, this one's obvious. What are you going to do? Take the stairs. How many of you have taken a walking class or done an exercise for walking where you've basically just gone up the stairs and down the stairs and up the stairs and down the stairs and up the stairs and down the stairs? I have. And my question for you is, do you count? Do you actually count how many times you go up and down the stairs, or you just kind of go with it? Now, maybe what you're missing is the treadmill. What do you do when you're missing the treadmill? I think a lot of you are coming to walking classes and you are in your house, especially at night, whether you're there because it's cold or the weather or it's dark and you want to take the walking class, but you're already at home, you don't have a treadmill. What do? One idea is march. You just stay in place and march and march and march and march and march and march and march, right? I mean, that's what Tracy's kids do every single time she takes walking class. I feel like, oh, Kathy says that she has a yoga wheel. That's even nicer than a yoga block, actually. Edie says, I usually do use the stairs. Right. So if you take a walking class, you like to go up and down the stairs. I like it too. It makes me feel more of a sense of accomplishment than just like walking around the house. Plus, the stairs, the other thing I'm going to say about taking the stairs is, for me at least, there's less distractions on the stairs that would pull me away from staying focused on my workout. So if I'm walking, the other idea for walking is to walk all around your house, like walk down the hallways, maybe have some kind of loop you could do in your house, or maybe you have certain touch points in your house where you can walk to one bedroom, walk to the other bedroom, walk to this, walk to that, and you kind of have like your little route through the house to do. Okay. Um, that said, if I do a route through the house, I start seeing things I need to pick up. I start noticing laundry. I start noticing dishes. I start basically doing chores. I get distracted and I don't stay focused on my workout. So I do better personally with the marching in place or the stairs because I don't have anything on the stairs that's going to distract me. Well, if I do, I clear it in the first 5 trips. Then it's done. Okay. I would love to know what you guys actually do when you take class inside your house. What do you actually do? Do you march? Are you going up and down the stairs? Are you going up and down the hallway? Are you doing cardio intervals? Are you like not actually working out? You're just chilling and hanging out, which is fine. You could do that if you want. Okay, I think we're close to the end. Yep, that's the end. All right, so my question for you with this is, would you do any of these? Did you actually see anything here that you would try? And did you see anything in here that you have tried? I would love to know. So drop that either in the chat or in the comments. Aaron says you do treadmill when you're in your house. Yeah, that's good. If you have a treadmill in your house, you're lucky. Last time we talked, or a couple weeks ago, we did our gift guide, and the walking pads have gotten really, really, really affordable. So if you always wanted to have a treadmill, it's just for walking, not running, and you could get one now for under $200. And that's like kind of the standard price. And I can't say that I don't know how long it's going to last. I have one. It's awesome. I use it during our walking classes every time right now. And it's been great. It's very light. It's easy to move around in the house and it folds really flat and I can put up against the wall. So I've been loving my walking pad. I can also put it under my desk and use it while I'm working. But the whole point of this was to talk about what you can improvise when you don't have the stuff. Edie says, sure, some fun ideas. Thanks. Cool. Um, if you're doing this, any of these in class, I want to hear about it. I actually love improvising with things in the workouts. I love seeing photos of you doing that. I love to hear what your ideas are. If you come up with something when you're in a workout and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna bicep curl this today, let me know. I totally want to hear about it. Marissa says, I do adaptive skaters. That's your walking. Right. That's a good idea. I actually do think that doing cardio intervals in class is probably the best answer to walking. Is the reason I don't always give those in class is just because it can be like challenging to tell so many people to do different things at the same time. But if you can do a minute or two of marching, a minute or two of speed skaters, a minute or two of like ladder climbers, a minute or two of side shuffles, and you just keep switching it up. That's probably the best, actually. Okay, it's time for the stretch break. Let's do it. Now, I picked the stretch break moves on purpose so that we can use some of our ideas that we just got. So here is our stretch break. Let's see if I can get this out of here. There it is. There it is. All right, here's our stretch break. Our stretch break today is with trainer Kathy, and we are doing a hip bridge as our stretch. Now, this, you could consider this a strength move, but we're going to do this today as a stretch. So you can see that Kathy has her yoga block, which is beautiful, between her knees in this video. And if you didn't have a yoga block, you could put something else between your knees instead. You could put a book. I do think that the distance that the yoga block is providing is part of the value. So you might want to find something that's in that 6-inch kind of size that you would want to put between your legs. It might be that you can put your water bottle sideways. It might be a shoebox. It might be a pillow. A pillow would work for this one. It's not so much about the squeeze between the legs as it is helping to guide the distance between your knees and your feet. You lift your hips up and it opens your quads and your hip flexors. It works your glutes. And just the other tip I would say with this is just make sure your toes are pointing straight forward and not splayed out to the sides. Nice. Okay. Did you try it? And next, we have our move of the week. Our move of the week today is a move that we have not really had in class very much, but I love this one. This is such a good one. This is a hamstring curl with the gliders. Now, you can see right here, this is our teammate Sherry, who made her signature workout. And I don't know if her gliders are even gliders. I don't know what her gliders are. Maybe they are. But essentially, you lie on your back, your heels are on something, whether it's your socks on the hardwood floor, or paper plates, or actual gliders, or what was the other ideas we had? Towels on the hardwood floor? Totally. And you drive your heels back toward your glutes to activate your hamstrings. You want to feel this in the backs of your legs. This move is challenging. This is a really, really, really good one. If you wanted to make this more challenging, one idea that you can do is you could lift your hips off the ground. The more that your hips are off the ground, the harder this is going to be. The lower your hips and the more weight you have in your hips, the easier. So that's up to you. Okay, I challenge you to try it. Nice. All right, and with that, it is time for us to get to our announcements. Our first announcement today is this is the most important announcement to me. Is the holiday party. Okay, tomorrow is the holiday party. It's on December 13th. It's at 9 a.m. Pacific. Please come. This class is up as free. So if you were a member and your membership lapsed, totally still come. You can sign up for this class in our schedule at thenextfitnessthing.com and just click on schedule and then you can sign up for this class. And this is after the morning workout. So tomorrow morning, Kathy is going to be leading her normal classes that she does on Saturday. Those classes will be awesome. Get your workout in first. And then maybe put on your ugly sweater or some kind of holiday attire if you're down for it. And show up to the holiday party at 9 a.m. Pacific. We will have awards as part of the holiday party. We'll have some fun and games. It's going to be a blast. And I've been working on these awards a lot, and I'm really excited for that part. And I really hope you'll come and receive your awards. All right, so that's going on tomorrow. Also, coming up is the book club. The book club is on the 21st, so it's not this weekend, but the next. And Casey is leading the book club this month. It is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. And if you haven't started this book, it's a good time to start it now. All right, as always, make sure that you're checking out our Discord server. If you're struggling with Discord, send me a message. I will help you. I've had a couple of you in the past week send me a message and say, I don't know what's going on with Discord, but I can't figure it out. So I'll help you. And honestly, I'm not really a master of Discord either, but we'll figure it out together. We will. Okay, Aaron says, I can't wait for the party. Yay, me too. I can't wait for the party. And honestly, team, that is it. That brings us to the end of the show today. It was so fun to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for playing with me. Oops. What are we doing in here? Thank you for all the fun. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the ideas of all of the ways to use your workout. And if you actually try any of these ideas, please do, first of all, and tag us, tag us, tag us, and we want to see what you actually come up with. All right. I lost all my sharing screens. There it is. Okay. So with that, let's dance it out. I'll see you in class. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Love you, team.